Hello there and welcome back to Construction Simulator. Yes, good old Construction Simulator here on a beautiful Wednesday. It's actually not. Well, I don't know. Would you call snow beautiful? I definitely would. Yeah, I'd say it's a beautiful day as far as snow is concerned. It's you know, doing a bit of snow out there, and we're getting a bit of a storm, which is pretty good. It's like the snow. I'm definitely a winter person. I love the cold because I have that old saying that you can always put on more layers. There's always ways to get warm. I mean, it's not always ways. Not every situation is going to allow you to get warm. But when it's really hot outside, you can strip all the way down to naked and you're still hot. And there's nothing you can do. uh, when it comes to clothing layers, anyway. There's nothing. There's no clothing that you could wear, really, unless it's like a cool suit, I guess. I don't know. It's not practical. But anyway, enough about that. So yes, welcome, and as well, thank you and welcome to those who have subscribed throughout the week so far. Hope you decide to stay. We like to have fun here, even though I can be as boring as a professor. So, as your college professor, not as smart, but definitely as boring. Yeah, we're going to be continuing right along. Don't worry, this is not going to be any of those types of videos. It's not going to be like the last video where it was the hammers. This one's just going to be a normal construction sim um, for the week. So, because we're doing them on Wednesdays now, have a little bit of a late start, so this might be a shorter video than normal. Had some technical difficulties, but we're up and running, and hopefully everything will work out. So, let's get to it. And boop, there we go. We are here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Which story mission do you want to do today?
Well, with the short time
Oh,
span,
we got Waterfront.
that's all we got left.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it'll be too much, really. I don't think it'll be 4 hours of digging.
No, it's only a little over a mil.
Yeah.
So. Okay. I'm just gonna fast travel over there, get the cutscene out of the way.
Yep. I am pulling out some vehicles. Oh, game may have broke.
So yeah, I noticed that there is a lot of because obviously from my searching for all the hammers, I noticed around the map there is a lot of development areas. You can actually tell the development areas because where the new contracts for for just the normal contracts for like houses and stuff and buildings, you'll
Yeah.
see like this pile of rubble and maybe a work light or maybe like
Yeah.
just a bit of rubble just kind of hanging around. And this exact same rubble, you can tell where all the new stuff is going in. Every single lot that has one of those on it, that something's going to go there. One of your contracts is going to lead you to that exact build. So that was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. So you can kind of tell where the new developments are going in. Plus, there's actually a few of them around the map where they're brand new housing developments where the road is still dirt and whatnot. So, all right, cutscene time. Hello there, Mr. Man with the Wellington boots. What do you got for
Well, the
me?
jobs are rolling in. Your company is a true blessing, and I hope our lucky streak will hold. Now that the marina is ready, the demand for shipbuilding has also returned. We can use the abandoned site of the former fishing companies to construct a new shipyard. This is where streamlined yachts can be designed and built in the future.
At least he doesn't look like a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. Just a little. Just not quite.
Mm-hmm. So you never ever answered about if you had found all the hammers yet or not.
Oh, I did it. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm at like 32. I haven't found them all.
That video took me like 4 hours to make. Because there was a lot of like there was a couple times where it was almost an hour before I found the next hammer. But the easiest way to find them, though, definitely is by keep putting yourself in, or keep having coffee breaks and keep the game at nighttime, because the little golden hammer streaks glow at night. They're very easy to see.
Yeah, there's these piles, these 2 piles you see. Those are like what needs removed. Well, I mean, you could dig it up, or you could drive over it.
Flatten it down. Compact it a little. Yeah, there's a lot of red spots, but there's also a lot of yellow. It's almost there. Start on this end, I guess.
Oh, so, story time.
Yes.
Because today at work had something fun happen.
Oh, yeah?
So we've got a furnace, you know, to keep the place warm. And it's an older furnace. It's one that my dad grew up with. It was in the upholstery shop he grew up in. And it's propane. Well, no, at the time it was natural gas, but we converted to propane. Same difference. We, you know, did what we needed to do to get it working with propane, and it fought us the entire time. We finally got it working for the past 2 years, and recently it's been backlighting. So, you know, not a good thing, but you'll hear it go woof. Until, like, yesterday, there was a small thud, and it's like, well, what's that? You know, we didn't know what the small thud was. So we just kind of, you know, shrugged, whatever, don't know what it was. And then today, this morning, there was a thud, and we looked over at the furnace because that's where it came from. There was a slightly larger thud than there was yesterday. So we just looked at each other, kind of, okay, shrug, whatever. I guess the furnace is doing its thing and being a pain. So we did the right thing and ignored it.
Yep. That's how you did.
So it's about 4 o'clock. We've been waiting on, you know, freight to show up that, you know, hasn't shown up, and then found out that it's not showing up, even though it's out for delivery, because the truck driver timed out and went home.
Timed out and went home. What?
Yes. He was not going to be able to finish his route due to timing out.
Dude, I don't even know. What? Don't understand.
So truckers can only drive so much before they run out of hours.
Before they run out of hours, before they can.
They have to stop driving.
Yeah, by law you're supposed to drive only so many, and then you have to take a certain amount of break.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He was out of time. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. The furnace kind of just exploded. As in, there was a concussive blast that happened.
Yeah.
I was 50 feet away and felt it.
At least you weren't standing next to it.
Whoomp. It was not a thump. It was a boom.
At least you weren't next to it when it decided to go off.
And you know, that's when it's like, that's where the bangs have been coming from, the thumps. But that made my ears pop.
Yep.
that blew the little door on the bottom of it off. Um, yeah, it was a thing that happened. So we decided to actually do the right thing, and we unplugged it so that the pilot light couldn't light it, and we, turned the gas to it off.
Yeah. You're just supposed to have a...
It's got a metering valve in it.
So it's got a regulator.
Yeah, it's got a regulator, it's got a metering valve and all that stuff, but, this thing's been fighting us tooth and nail ever since we brought it home.
Yeah.
So, it went bang, and we decided, okay. I felt that. That rattled the walls. That knocked stuff off.
That rattled the old bones.
Literally, the next step was it literally exploding. We went into the room it's in, and there was just dust everywhere. The door that's on the front of it had been blasted off, and there is just dust hanging in the air.
Sounds fun.
Our response was, neat. It wasn't that almost could have ended badly. It's like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's not have that happen again, though.
Yeah. That reminded me of the time that the people across the street from, the Department of Transportation building.
Yes.
Do you know that yard across the street that person selling vehicles?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, they had an old dump truck over there with a flat tire, and they wanted to move it. And I was standing outside. It was the end of the day, getting ready to go home. Where we do we take like 20 minutes out of our day at the end and do paperwork, and then kind of just stand around for a little bit, wind down before we go home, stuff like that. We're just standing outside having a chat, and we see him over there, hook up the tire to a gas-powered air compressor or something like that. I'm guessing it was fuel powered because it had no electricity or anything. They just plopped it down, started it up with a little key, and then hooked up, started airing up the tire. And we're just like, okay, yeah, they're airing up that tire over there. We go back to chatting, nothing's going wrong. And we see him walk away, and it's just like, okay, that's a bit odd, but they'll probably come back in a few minutes, check on it, right? Well, they never came back, and we, kind of forgotten that that the tire was airing up across the street as well. Kind of forgot anything was happening over there. We just hear, a big old explosion, and that shit rattled the fucking. That shit rattled the fucking bones too. Because these tires ain't small.
Oh no, not by any means.
They're big tires. So when you air that up, that thing can take a lot of PSI before it finally goes off. And it had the shockwave of it, I guess you could say, was so bad that it rattled the windows next to us on the building. That was pretty crazy. And while we're kind of just like, holy crap, that was insane. Fucking dirt shit all in the air. They come running over. It's like, I guess they forgot something. Hey, I think it's we actually get to use the what do you call it, the front end loader here. We gotta create a dirt ramp. Started digging surface, I guess. I think he left.
I'm right here. I'm just
Oh.
letting someone know something they asked me.
I'm just getting this, because I know the front end loaders don't really like to dig, really. Just getting the area prepared for you to be able to dig.
Do I need to dig?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use the excavator.
Well, it also wants it wants a dirt ramp.
Let me see.
Which is something we haven't actually got to do yet. It's like last time there was a dirt ramp, the game created it for us. Yeah, so I figured since the loader didn't like to dig, I went ahead and started the ramp there.
Yeah, that happened.
Is it working?
Well, I'm slowly getting out of the hole. Looky there.
I got an idea.
Well, that failed.
Oh. I was gonna say I got an idea.
What's up?
If you like dig it out and then you back up, I'll drive in front of you and then you dump it into the dump truck and then I back out of the way. And then you never have to turn.
Well, I dumped it and then I made a pile on the edge of the thing. I mean, doing that did, minimal. But my Discord is exploding.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Thursdays I'm gonna be in a air quotes superhero campaign, and from the looks of it, I think more anti-hero than superhero at this point.
You're a vigilante.
My guy, not the best person. Everyone else, twisted senses of justice. But my guy could easily become a villain. The
Yeah.
thing is he worked for Big Brother, and
Worked for
if that makes sense.
No.
So do you know what the government was called in the 80s? They called the government Big Brother because Big Brother was always listening in to everything.
Yeah, Big Brother's always watching.
Yeah, exactly. So my guy worked
I
for
get
Big
it.
Brother and helped create superhumans and mutants. And he's still addicted. Like, that is his obsession now. So it's like, oh, I'm just taking samples because I'm a medic. So, I'm just taking blood samples to make sure everything's okay. You don't have any weird virus or they didn't implant any weird poison in you. Totally not making clones.
No.
He's got no negative intentions. But he doesn't know what consequences are because he, never had to deal with them. His morality is there. No, not really. It's not. He created a sentient armadillo with his, mentor, and that's one of the characters. The other was, somebody who worked for the army and was a special unit that was superhumans that he helped create to a degree. Yeah, it's a disaster waiting to happen because he could easily just, not become the villain, but be the cause of things to happen. It's like, oh yeah, no, I made clones of you all. Oh, you're not happy I did that?
Definitely a better to ask for forgiveness than permission type person.
No, not even that. He just doesn't care. He's not used to having to deal with consequences. It's like we're a group of superheroes. He's a healer. He can heal people. He does that. He's he does that. And then injects people with, new tests of creations he's made.
Hmm.
He's totally not trying to synthesize their superhuman abilities at all.
I'm gonna give you a little something to relax.
Well, it's like, oh, you are, super strong or whatever, or you've got some weird superhuman ability. Yeah, here, let me synthesize that into a drug that, I can just take. It's like, I have the cure of cancer. Cool. I've got all this random stuff. Are they happy I did that? Probably not gonna be. Did I ask? No. Am I going to make clones? Yes.
Are you gonna apologize? No.
No. Is there going to be much security where he's working? No, because he's never had to deal with security before. That was, the other people's jobs. Like, he is just going to be chaos incarnate is my plan. I normally create things that are not problems. I normally create people that have to deal with problems. This time, it's just going to be an absolute disaster.
I was gonna say, usually you do like to play the kind of crazy.
Well, recently I don't. I have had a few people that are just, normal-ish to a degree. Like, the backgrounds for, some of the more recent things, it's like, oh, this person was, halfway tame at least. Like, their background may have been wonky, but they didn't do anything crazy.
It's just because I think it's because normal is boring.
Exactly, and let's see. Sundays, my guy was just some dude from New York that, screwed up and had to, leave. Fridays, my guy is just some dude who, had a bad, life and is there to help these people now. And then before, it was just, a little crazy thing, but he wasn't actually causing trouble. He was just a little thing. And now this. My plan is to cause as much chaos as possible. It's like I synthesized the thing, I don't remember which one it is. Here, take a vial. Have a vial, take a vial. Let's see what happens. Oh, why am I stuck? Why am I stuck? What am I stuck on?
Reasons and such.
Oh, I just planned to be as much chaos as possible because I was looking and it's like, oh, this person's basically Batman.
I created my own Batman.
It's like, that's fine. We have, one person that might cause other things to happen. We have an armadillo. A sentient armadillo. Later.
Wow.
Be careful getting in the one that I'm filling. It's been full for like 5 minutes.
What the hell? What is this giant pile? Be careful getting in it, you say?
Yeah. It was too far away for me to properly fill, so I just kept filling it.
Well, at least most of it stayed in the dump truck. Mine ended up as the pyramids over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1% of it ended up back in the hole.
I was gonna come over and bring the dump truck over to you, but apparently I'm stuck on a little tiny thing of dirt.
There we go. But yeah, the guy I'm gonna create is, I think he makes an atomic bomb without a safety. It could just be set off. Why? Why does it need a safety?
Yeah, safety's too much work.
Well, no, it's not that it's too much work, it's just why does it need a safety?
Wonder. Yep. I can dump the dirt in the water. I got distracted.
Oh no, that's fine.
And wanted to know if I could dump dirt in the water instead of putting it in the dump truck.
Yeah, we got some new people joining us for the game, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna create because I'm just making a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've got abilities, but really they only have one power, and that's to heal. Outside of that, they are just a monstrosity that I'm hoping to cause chaos with. Scoop. Pile. Pile.
Yeah, now that the dump trucks have flipped out, I'm just like, I give up. It's not worth the trouble. Especially if the dirt can end up back in the hole.
Scoop. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this. Sundays, my character, you know, he was just, a blockhead. He was there to be the muscle to help people out if they got into a fight. He could, be the strong guy that, is there to end the fight for them and keep them safe. And then it's like, hey, this group is in this town. And all of a sudden it went from, I'm just some dude who's just, the muscle of the group to, I am replacing them with the Italian mafia. It's like, I don't like that group, so I'm gonna bring my group in because he was part of the Italian mafia. So what could go wrong, really? It's like the lesser of the two evils he knows. Like, nothing can go wrong, surely. Everything's going to go wrong. He's got a lot of work to get done, though. Because it's like a complete 180 from what he's built for.
making a mountain over there.
Multiple.
You're making a mountain range.
I'm creating a valley.
So I learned something awesome the other day,
Oh yeah.
and it's kind of funny. While watching a YouTube video, if you go onto while you're watching the YouTube video, just type in "awesome" on your keyboard, and it will turn the loading bar. It'll turn the loading bar into a flash of colors. The loading bar will just start flashing random colors.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't hit enter or anything. You just type in "awesome." It's like, huh. So, yep, I went and tried it, and it's like, oh shit. Something I've never known. Ever. You know. It's kind of like that whole deal of, where if you're, on Google, you type "do a backflip," or do a barrel roll. There we go. Do a barrel roll. And the whole screen will do a barrel roll.
Yeah. If that's still a thing.
Yeah, it still is. They've
For a
kept
while
it.
there, Google had a few things you could type in.
There was a few different cool little neat features. Or if you've got a video on YouTube and you got it paused, I don't know if you have to have it paused, but you can use, I think it's the arrow keys, and you can watch the video frame by frame. It's just like, I don't know whoever wants to do that, but sure. That's a neat little thing you could do.
Mistakes were made. Give me some of that dirt.
I've been shoved backwards by my dirt pile in front of me. My reach is not able to reach across the hole anymore.
There we go.
Oh, I'm stuck. Let me go. I can't rotate. Okay, what's... Oh, dump truck stopping me. I've been pushed all the way back here. Now that I'm back here, I'm on the other side of your mountain range, and I just see a bucket poking out the top.
Oh,
Help!
this is just a disaster on a good day.
Yeah. Just waving your arm around like, help! I'm in a hole!
This is just gonna make this a mess.
Don't worry, the game will fix it for us.
I don't think it will. The old one would have cleared it out, but I don't think this new one will.
Guess we'll find out. Oh, and that awesome thing only works on it only works on the desktop version.
Gotcha.
Doesn't work on the oldie phone. Or mobile. I guess kind of makes sense because when it comes to mobile phones, you can only type in the appropriate fields on the screen. You can't type freely like you could on PC. Like, I can type on my keyboard all I want, but if I'm using a mobile phone, I actually have to click on a field where I can input numbers and letters and symbols and stuff before it'll bring up the keyboard and allow me to do that. And also, like, I can dump the dirt anywhere. So in 2015, you couldn't dump the dirt anywhere.
I think I broke.
Oh.
There
No,
we go. Now
I was
there.
I was underneath your other arm.
Not at the time it broke.
Oh. I just looked up and I'm just like, oh, we're tangled. Also, I finally got down all the Christmas lights. Took me a few days because I was trying to work between the weather events. That's just one of those
today
ones.
We had a little bit of snow.
Yeah. That's just that can't work on the roof when there's weather or when it's too cold. You got metal roof and all.
Yeah, I let my mom know when I came to town. It was like, hey, be careful, because we had that little skiff of snow. But at the same time, there was also a little bit of drizzle and mist. So the roads were wet. It's like, you might want to be careful just in case it freezes over, because it's already getting cold.
Yeah, plus the snow that's been melting over the last couple days. Also, a lot of moisture there too.
Mm-hmm.
And there hasn't been a whole lot of like full on sunlight for long enough to dry out most of that. So.
Yeah. Plus, it got dark, or I say dark. It went overcast and got gray at like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what surprised me too, because today it was just like I had the window open, and it's just like, yeah, it might be another day of maybe 50s or 60s. Because I didn't look at the weather, and then all of a sudden the wind kicked up, started getting cold, and it's like, oh, a snowstorm, unexpected for me. Oh my gosh, look.
Just a disaster.
It is.
I'll get this other one. I didn't want to spill anything.
I'm gonna use this dump truck for the gravel, because that other one irritates me.
Oh, what? No. This thing would be irritating when it, burns by itself.
No. Not only that, the bed stops dumping sometimes when you're trying to dump. It just irritates me because I'm trying to dump the gravel, and the freaking tailgate just closes itself randomly.
You're saying that this game has issues?
Never. That's heresy. I would never say that. Yeah, because in this day and age, if you hate a particular game because of a bunch of reasons or whatever, you're ridiculed for it. You're not allowed to have an opinion on the state of a game. And yeah,
If the
there's.
game is a buggy mess, I'm gonna say the game's a buggy mess.
Oh yeah, me too. And
I mean, you know,
I'm going to
I'm
whine
sure.
and complain about.
I'm sure nobody remembers Anthem.
I don't. I wasn't a part of that one.
It was an absolute shit show. It's like, hey, look at this game, and it was all like they claimed it was in-game footage, or they insinuated
Oh,
it, and it was not.
that age-old trick.
And it was just a disaster at best. Like, it didn't work, it was a mess, it was awful.
It's like I'm gonna have to buy more gravel. It wants some thick gravel here. I've got most of the area covered, and it's only 60%.
Oh, jeez, yeah. No joke. That is a bit of a mess. Yeah, it really wants it thick. Deep, deep. Oh, get to it. Ouch.
I'm doing it.
Oh, just a tiny bit more. There you go. Oh, come
I'm finished dumping the rest of what was in there.
on. Oh, come on. This is so
You're too close.
so slow.
Oh, apparently I'm in the way too. Oh, I'll get the buy the
Oh, it doesn't
stuff.
want this in there yet. I know it would want that something compact eventually.
Maybe the
I saw
flat
it.
bit.
I mean, I saw that it wants stuff compact eventually.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's the flat bit where we pour like concrete for. Maybe the gravel's just for the ramp. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 6, and then 4. And that looks like everything. Purchase. Okay. Go over to you.
All right.
There you go. You're a
I
foreman
almost
as well.
dismantled that.
I almost did that the last episode. You had bought the crane in right as I had brought the crane, or tried to bring the crane in. You brought it in just a second before me. I just was holding Y and didn't realize it said dismantle. About dismantled it.
This is about to go bad.
You'll be fine.
I'm bringing a mobile crane over.
Hmm.
There we go. And sitting right here should not be a problem.
Where is the materials delivery?
On the opposite side of the crane, like it faces, just to the side.
Oh. Oh, it created such a wall of the old like steel beam U-channel looking things that I just assumed it was part of the surroundings.
I'm gonna grab one of them rebar meshes.
All right.
What are you going after?
Going after the cable.
The reel. Alright, I'll grab this other rebar mesh then.
Yeah, I think that's just gravel for the bottom of the ground there. It's gonna be covered in water.
Yeah, because this is what a shipyard. Okay, so
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going to be either working on or assembling ships here.
it's awful small to be like a dry dock. But that doesn't mean it can't be.
No idea. I just
I'm gonna grab the far right red thing, just in case we were going after the same thing. Needs to.
it doesn't want this. Get out of
Uh,
here. It wants pellet of wood.
and down.
You know what we should do since we're so short on time? Speed run.
Speed run. Speed run.
Heck yeah.
Jenkins.
We're gonna speed run this contract, get it done in only an hour and a half.
Best Friends Guild. Speed run. I don't got any chicken.
Then we'll combine some.
I got pork.
What?
I'd have to cook it though. Yeah, at the end, at least I got chicken. I'll let you grab that.
We could speed run this even better if it was 2015. Then I could just swing it over and let it go midway through. Honestly, I should bring that back. Unpack materials.
I'm going for it.
Go, go, go.
Unpacking. It's gonna want the concrete buckets too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll need the concrete buckets.
Warehouse.
How big is that? Yeah, we can both do it. This is a decent size one.
Alright, buckets are here. We'll go for your left one.
My left. Alright, so I'll be closer to the sea.
Yep.
I'll work a little bit closer to the dock, or not the dock, the seawall there.
Oh, pouring too high. Forgot that this one you have to be a little closer. Very realistic though. Unless you had a completely still day, you could probably pour concrete from all the way at the top of the crane. Although it hitting the thing you're trying to pour it into would probably destroy any kind of framing you had set up falling from that height. Because I mean, if a balloon, if a big enough balloon filled with water can crush a car at a decent height, imagine concrete. You ever see that experiment? They had a giant. I don't remember at all, but I just remember this giant, almost weather balloon sized balloon they had filled with water, and I attached it to a crane, and picked it up real high above a minivan, and then detached the balloon from the crane via remote control. And that water balloon hit that car, it crushed it damn near flat. That thing was pretty fucking flat. The only thing that wasn't flat was the motor, transmission, and stuff, but the whole top of it, you wouldn't have survived. No way.
Jeez.
It's just like, that's just a water balloon. So imagine dropping concrete at that size. Or that height. From a bucket.
that is a bit nutty that water can just destroy stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey. More stairs. Oh.
How many are there?
There's a lot of little bits.
Just the one. It might want compaction here now.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So-
thinking.
I'm gonna get the other one out as well.
Yep. Because it's like your box standard pour and compact.
It looks like it.
And I didn't say that just because this is a box either.
I believe there'll be at least 2 trucks.
The sound on this dump truck is, they did a really good job on it. Especially because I know those exact sounds. It's like they had to have gotten a dump truck that's similar and recorded the sounds it made while both dumping and putting the bed back down. Because the tailgate is hinged on the top with pins. What often happens when you put the bed back down is the tailgate will hinge back and slam against the body of the bed a few times before it finally is able to be latched.
It's all good. All the dirt's there.
Oh. And then empty, reset. I didn't realize I
That's
was
a
not
decent
looking.
amount.
I was not looking at the top there.
We didn't even spread gravel in those areas.
Yeah, yeah, which is really weird, eh?
Yep. There we go.
We were just going as fast
Oh,
as I
yeah.
can. It's like freaking rev that machine up, get it going, man.
Oh yeah, if this was like an automatic, just neutral drop it.
Mm-hmm.
Hard. Acting at 5 mile an hour.
Oh, every now and again I hit 5. I think it's a little more
Yeah,
bounce.
it's like 4, 5, 4,
Yeah.
5, 4. I'm not worried about missing some of these spots because
Yeah.
it's not gonna need every last little bit.
So it's just like I see a few strips on my side, I'm just like, not gonna hurt anything.
Mhm.
Almost there.
Just this tiny little bit and then that tiny little bit. More stuff not back.
Not back.
Do it. I don't know what I did, but I did a thing.
More pouring.
Ooh,
And we both got a side for this one.
perfect.
I like how there's a dirt pile still over here. It
Oh yeah.
clearly should not be here. Like, no.
Like we could fix that.
Or we could just leave it there.
Exactly. So I said could.
Yep.
Right now.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
long strip foundation looking thing. This is freaking whip it. Whip it real good.
Oh yeah.
This is how the big boys pour concrete as fast as possible. And with the most amount of movement.
Oh yeah. People on the ground will fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not my job. I'm in the crane.
They're the ones that get to smooth it out.
They just need their hole filled fast.
Like, you want this? Just fill it, and then it has like a chute that dumps all of it at once.
Probably. I actually pretty sure these types of concrete buckets, were they were to be filled with concrete with a little chute thing that opens up, it'd probably dump most of it almost instantly. There's nothing to regulate it, you know?
It's like, where's the regulator? It's how far you open that little front thing.
Yep. I'm sure some of them had like little notches you would, you know, bend the handle out slightly and then open it up and then notch it. It's probably something that could have existed. Of course, the concrete mixer that I used, it was an electric one, really old electric one, had a big old, basically flat steel bar attached to it to tip it. So you had two different modes with tipping it. With that machine, it was either mixing mode or you were in pouring mode. And there wasn't really a whole lot in between because that thing is old and heavy just on its own, and then the thing being full of concrete. So yeah, I actually had to have somebody help me tip it so that we could dump it the concrete into a wheelbarrow.
Jeez.
Because that thing was so heavy. Because I didn't want to, start dumping it into the wheelbarrow and then just dump the whole thing. Because there was nothing to keep it from going full tilt and just dumping all the concrete out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an old one though. This one's mobile as well. You can you pick up the handle, or you grab the handle and pick up the one end, and it's got wheels on the other end of it.
Gotcha.
It's old. It's like honestly, I think it might have been one of my grandparents that owned that. To be honest. So I borrowed one from one of my family members. I think it would belong to their dad.
Yeah.
So I guess that can kind of give you a little bit of perspective on how old that thing was. Like it's old enough to have a V-belt. So it's got the electronic motor with a V-belt pulley, turning another gear which turns the mixer. Yeah, and it's not the centerpiece that spins. It's the whole outer deal, like a concrete truck. So
Yeah.
the whole outer deal spins rather than this thing in the center that mixes. It's got little flaps. Almost.
A little bit right over here.
Sweet.
Want steel beams and these pallet elements. So I'm gonna grab this pallet element.
Like everything else looks like new, nice and new, brand new and stuff. And then the steel beams are just like, we'll just make those rusty. Couldn't have painted them? The hell.
Why would we do that?
At least give them a small coating of oil. Like they do with brake discs. They always package it with a little bit of oil in there as an anti-rust.
Here.
You know, it's real fun if you forget to spray that stuff off and then go to use the brakes. The vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It fucking smokes like crazy because it's oil, you know. And that brake disc.
Hot oil.
Yep, hot oil smokes. Smokes and it smells terrible. That's one mistake I only made once, and that was in college. Only made that mistake once, never again. That is one of the deals. I mean, you don't cause a whole lot of damage. I mean, you might have like shortened the life on your brake pads, but
Yeah, it gave them a tiny bit of glazing.
yep. It's just, you know, you done fucked up because it's so obvious you done fucked up. It's a fucking all smoke billowing out from all four tires. Yeah, people don't realize, but them brake discs under normal conditions get very, very hot.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Especially the heavier the vehicle, the hotter the discs get. That's the more weight to slow down. And usually the brake pressure is up on those heavier vehicles.
All right.
15 steel pillars. Damn.
Oh geez, they're all over there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start from the ones closest to me,
Oh, I'm
and
glad.
actually, not break them. And I'll take them to the ones, right, furthest away.
Trying to figure out where the short ones go.
I think towards the front. Or are they in this corner all the way over here?
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
they're in the corner all the way by me.
Yeah, they sure are.
Then I'll go over to this side and stay out of your way.
There's only 3 of them. They decided these ones were going to be shorter. Maybe this is where the office is, and they didn't need basically a 2-story building. Don't worry about me. Just swing in a 1,000-pound girder
Oh yeah.
as if it's weightless. It's light as a feather. I'll tell you though, that's one of the things I've always wanted to operate. Is a crane. A big old freaking flat top style crane. Where I'm just up in the air, way above everybody. Get to see the freaking sights, man. Oh, we're going for the same one.
Yeah, I was going way back in this corner to try and stay away from you.
Oh, never mind. After this one, I'll stay on my side because I was grabbing
no,
the
no,
short
fine.
ones and moving over, and I was still in that mindset though of going to that side because I was already done it with 3 of them. If I stay on my side, it's just easier for both of us. We're not getting tangled up.
Is there just this one right here and one right there? Gotcha.
If only that was like real life, where things would just snap into place like that.
Yeah. You don't have to hold it there while they line it up with the bolts, a little to the left, a little to the right.
Right. Because even putting them damn signs up, though, the big ones you usually see on the side of the interstate, that usually the ones that have the metal I-beam legs,
Oh yeah.
they got little footers that come out of the ground to line those legs up to bolt them down, because they're the way they're designed. It's really hard to get that to all line up because usually you're doing it with the bucket truck, because the bucket truck's got a little hook thing on it where you can hook up the sign. That way you don't have to have a crane as well as a bucket truck. You just have the bucket truck. Because them signs they're too heavy to lift by hand. You could have like 4 or 5 people on that thing and still wouldn't be able to lift it, stand it up. Unless that'd be extremely dangerous.
Alright, cool. I gotta leave and come back. And we were doing so good too.
You gotta leave and come back.
Yep. Steel pillars 15 of 15 and I don't see anything new.
Oh, mine just changed. Mine actually took a second. There's a stutter there. And mine actually took a second to appear as well. So I was wondering that too. I was just like, is it gonna change?
Yeah, it was just like, and then it didn't, so.
Okay, those don't go here. There's 3 different types of beams. 2 of them look very similar. I really wish they would color code these a little bit better. The little hologram thing that comes up, picks them up. Because where it goes lights up a slightly lighter blue than the rest of them.
Yes.
And it's really hard to distinguish between the 2. You have to be looking just right. Just like, if I pick something up, how would we turn all the holograms red and the one where it goes turns blue? That would be just way easier to identify.
I mean, I don't know if there's a option, but
And it could be. Never actually looked.
that's one of those things that it seems obvious enough. But who knows?
I know Satisfactory has the hologram you can change the colors of. You can change all the colors from the hologram that pops up as you're trying to place something to the hologram that turns yellow, normally turns yellow when you're doing the soft clearance. You can change the color of that too to be whatever color you want. And just the full color spectrum there, as well as the hard clearance one where you're not allowed to place something. Change the color of that. You could really screw with somebody if they weren't paying attention to the messages below that, like the warning messages. They go to play something and it just the hologram immediately turns red. They're just like, okay, maybe I can only place this inside this building. It won't place. It's blue. What the hell? It's like it's like that trick where you go onto the person's desktop and you take a full screenshot of the desktop and then take all the icons and put them in a folder and then hide the folder.
Yep.
Just watch them trying to click away. And my other favorite one is when the practical joke goes bad. When you say like, You put like a desktop screen or maybe a TV screen that you can change the screen that comes up, change it to the broken screen, and then the person gets super upset and breaks the TV. Actually breaks it. It's just like, it was just a joke. It wasn't actually broken. Well, now it is. It's like,
Like it was a joke, a mistake was made, and now it's destroyed.
yeah. Fasten Gert. I don't know who Gert is, but fasten him.
Oh, fasten the girders.
Yeah. It should say girder. I don't know why they, they tried to abbreviate it.
Girder fastened.
Corrugated metal sheets. Finally, we get to mess with some corrugated metal stuff.
Last time I did that, it ended horribly. Everything exploded.
Oh, these are just placeables. Oh, it might turn into sheets, yeah.
Oh, guess I'm grabbing this one.
Oh yeah, so unless you want to beat your head against the wall, I wouldn't recommend looking for the hammers on your own in this one.
Yeah.
Some of those are evil. There's a few of them that are really freaking evil where they're hidden.
Really?
Yeah, there's one on a rock cliff side that can only be seen if you're down on the road below the cliff, because it's a switchback. So if you're on the lower road and you happen to have the camera panned up in a certain way, and you're on a very specific spot, you can only see it for that split second while traveling down the road. I only seen it and found it because I ran into a traffic car because I turned the corner wide and was in the oncoming lane, and like you do in video games, you just foot to the floor, just keep going. And I slammed into a traffic car and went to turn my camera around because I like to see them be pushed and then ultimately disappear. And I just happened to spot it, and I'm just like, that is evil. You can't see it from the road above. I went to the road above to look at it. Nope, can't see it. Can't see from up there.
Ooh, wow, that's nasty.
Yep. And there's one more that, unless you go down the specific dead-end alleyway in the downtown area, unless you specifically go down that dead-end alleyway and go all the way to the end, and then look left, you won't see the hammer. You'll just look down the alleyway, not see a hammer, and go, it's a dead end. Yep, and then you just move on. I went all the way down it, and because I was going fast, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop until I got to the end of it. So I was just flying around. Not really caring where I was going. Just like, okay, rotate my camera to back up out of the alleyway because there's nothing down here. Oh, look! A hammer on top of a dumpster. So evil. The rest of them aren't too bad. The rest of them you can pretty much see from just about any roadway. But there's just those certain few that you almost have to know they're there in order to see them.
Jeez, that's evil. Depends on who was working that day on placing hammers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be one of them situations where you get like 90, 97, 98, maybe even 99 out of 100, and then you spend hours scouring the entire map trying to find that last one. Whoops. Thought it was in place. Oh, it doesn't go here. Alrighty then.
Yep, I'm slowly working on it.
Oh, this is
These
the
sorted.
corrugated, the type of corrugated sheet that our roof is made out of. This is the exact style. It's usually for building siding, but it makes a great roof, especially in an area that gets hail.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if your corrugated metal gets a little dented, it's not going to stop its ability from being a roof. It's just gonna have a little dent. It's gonna have little dents in it. You're not gonna really notice.
The only thing you gotta worry about is if it gets too bad, then it can rust. It can hold water and rust, but that's if it gets too bad.
I don't think this style rusts, to be honest. I know the older style does, but this one in particular, I don't think it rusts. Not 100% sure about that though. But I know that our roof has been made out of metal ever since the trailer house got put down. That
There
was
you go.
over 10 years ago, and we haven't had any rust yet. Yes. But yeah, definitely the older style, the ribbed looking one. Got a lot of ribs in it. There's no flat spots or nothing. That one, if you put it the wrong way, like the shed is over here. Whoever built this shed, it was moved over to us. It was purchased and then moved from somebody else. They put the corrugated sheets on the roof the wrong way. So what happens is water sits in the little grooves when it rains, and then it starts eating through. So water just sits up there. I've been trying to eventually gain up enough to be able to move the thing. Or to be able to take the sheets down, and then I'd need some extra, but take those sheets down, cut them, replace them the right way. That way it can shed water. It's not a shed.
A few over there that you can get.
What's that?
I was just looking, it's like you got 3 left.
Are they all? They're all on my side, huh?
Yeah, the 3 that are left are on your side.
What about the edge ones?
I'll grab this one and take it to the very front, and then there will be one more left for the very front. Let's break it. Almost broke it.
Almost broken.
It jumped. That's the only one that's jumped on me so far.
Yeah. I tried putting one on one of those ends and it didn't work earlier. That's why I figured they were somewhere else, those end ones.
No.
Maybe I just had the sheet it didn't like. Oh, my camera just flipped out. Oh, there we go.
Oh, more.
Yep, the little bits. We're building the little extensions. Yeah, doesn't it seem like a boat shop? Or boats to be
It's
worked
a
on?
shipyard, but it's. I guess this is a shipyard where it's going to have a trolley or whatever you want to call it in the front that'll pick up the boat once it gets in that little area and then carry it across.
Hmm.
I have no idea. You know where we're from. I've never seen a boat up close.
Exactly. The last time I seen a boat was when when that major lake next to us, that state lake, or near us, not next to us, but near us, the big state lake filled up because of all that rain that year. Long
Oh
time
yeah,
ago.
we had. Was that 17 or
I
16?
cannot remember, but I do know that they didn't want the lake filled, so they drained it. They opened up the little floodgate at the back where it opens up into a little creek. But yeah, they it was all over town. Everybody's was like talking about the because that state lake hadn't had really any water in it for a long time.
Well, the thing that happened is it used to hold water without
Oh
an
yeah.
issue. There was a spring there that,
Hmm.
worked perfectly. Uh, but then they decided, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fuck it up. And they proceeded to.
And also,
No, but what really happened is they built a spillway over one side of it, and they just so happened to build the spillway over the spring, and it killed the spring.
I was gonna say maybe it was if I had to take a guess before you told me, I would have said the aquifer, but
No,
we're sitting on top of being low.
no. Well, that's also part of it for a lot of other springs, but this one in particular was
They
because
just built over it.
they, they built up over it and collapsed it or whatever they did. They killed the spring. My dad knows more about it than I do because he grew up here. Surprise.
Holy
Wonder
crap!
He would know more about it.
It's like holy crap.
But no, that's something that they do.
Uh-huh.
They do things without thinking, and then things break.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then,
that
of
was.
course, when they try to do things, they do it the cheap way, and it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Despite the warning signs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Give all the advice you can, but it's up to them as whether they want to listen.
But that would be expensive. Well, what you're doing is expensive.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
expensive.
Potato.
It's expensive in the long run, and what you're doing, it's going to cost more money than it would be to just forward the money up front.
Yep.
It would cost way less. But yep, that's always been the state's motto: is to look at the short-term solution and go with that.
Oh yeah. It's like you can spend, well, hypothetically, let's just use a large number. You
Yeah.
can spend $1 million now, and it's going to cost you $2 million in the future. Or you can spend $3 million now, and it's never going to cost you a dime.
I'd say it's even worse than that.
I know, but
Like it would initially cost the 3 million, but then over the long term, it would cost you 5 or 6 million. It costs more to maintain than it would be just
Oh,
to
yeah.
outright fix the problem. Hey, I'm not the boss. You spend the money, I just do what I'm told.
job security at that point.
But yeah, that was the last time I ever seen a boat. Somebody actually brought their boat out there. and got it on the water. It's like, I hope they got that out of there before they drain too much. Yeah, because we walked all the way down the little creek and stuff they were draining it into. We walked all the way down, followed it. Oh, this could be a completely metal pole shed. Okay, this would never work. What we're doing right here with these sheets, this would not work like this. If you attached it, it don't matter how many points you attach it on the edge, it's going to bend the crap out of it because of its own weight.
Oh yeah.
What they would do is they would attach it on just the one end, have the crane pick it up to where the workers could grab it, and then the workers would then slide it onto, or help slide it onto the roof with just the crane as just kind of a holding, the
But
weight for them.
if they did that in this game, it'd be impossible to place it.
Yeah, of course, I get it. No, I always have that. Slight compelled to tell people how it's done in the in the real world for those who don't know. That's the same with me and vehicles. If I'm working on somebody's vehicle and I want to, and there's something like whatever I'm fixing could have been avoided, or something like that, I would always like to try to educate them on how to avoid stuff in the future and what little steps they can do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I'd be a terrible shop mechanic, because it'd be like,
Supervisor.
yeah, I'd be working on, or I'd be doing an oil change for somebody. I'd do the oil change, they'd pay me or whatever. I'm like, you can do this yourself, and it'll cost way less.
It's like the oil filter and all that stuff is only going to cost you like maybe $100 depending on the vehicle.
Way less than that.
I mean, you say way less than that depending on the vehicle.
Yeah, it is depending on the vehicle, but
I
like
know
my
pickup,
oil
it
change.
was 2.5 gallons of oil.
Yeah, yours is way more though. There's a lot more to it.
Plus, I also do the fuel filter and air filter whenever I do it.
Yeah, your
But
parts.
yeah, it's still
your
2.5 gallons of oil.
Yeah, it's like your parts cost more and they're bigger. There's more to them.
But my oil's got all the vitamins and minerals.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all the dinosaur juice.
Yep, it's got to have all that stuff, otherwise it wouldn't last very long. But yeah, I know on my pickup, because it's a gasoline vehicle, my pickup averages anywhere between 40 to 60, depending on.
I think mine's like 125.
It just depends on what kind of oil I get. Because the filter for me, to buy a filter for my pickup, I'm looking at about $6. Maybe $8 if I decide to go for the premium.
Oh, I always get Wix.
Yeah, I don't go to Walmart for my oil and filters.
Don't get Fram.
Yep. Yeah, some people swear by that, and I'm just like, no. Have you not seen the video where they cut it apart?
Have you never cut one apart?
Yeah.
There's so little filtration that happens. It's like.
Well, not only
it's
that,
scary. It's like all cardboard inside, so like.
yeah, it's cardboard and
the
hot
cardboard
glue.
could break down. Yeah, exactly. And then you've got a loose filter rattling around inside the canister, or the
Yep.
can. Not canister, because there are canister filters. Those are different.
Yeah, plus that hot glue, that's like putting silicone in your oil. It's just
The
like,
only thing it's got going for it is the little grippy thing on the bottom.
Yep.
I
That's
wish
the only
all
thing.
companies did that.
Not only that too, but the Fran filters also, they don't have a spring to keep the
Yeah, they've got
filter.
that cardboard thing.
No, I meant like on the bottom.
Yeah.
They don't have a spring to keep the filter in place. They have a piece of spring metal, a tiny little tin
Yeah, yeah.
spring metal piece on the bottom. While you tear apart the Wix filters, the Napa filters, all those ones, they don't have any cardboard, they don't have any hot glue. They
If they
have
do have the little spring thing, it's much thicker.
yeah, it's an actual
It's
spring.
like, it's not tin.
Yep, it's an actual spring. It's unloading is not possible because there's something in the way, and then it shows vehicles. What?
I'll try and set that one up.
Uh-oh, I can't let go of this. Oh, it's saying the hook and the cable's in the way. Oh, there we go. It was glitched, I guess.
Yeah, I think the last one is gonna be great.
Watching
But
the one filter video I watched, they tore apart a Wix and an Napa filter, and there was one other brand, and there was no difference between the three, which I thought was funny.
the Napa and Wix, they are basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's because there's one corporation that owns both of those.
Yeah.
Bit more. Wow, all the tin for this building. All the tin.
But yeah, that's the only thing I run is Wix. Even like because Wix is a Napa brand per se, sort of, kind of ish. You can find them at like O'Reilly's, but it's just the filter I like running. Because there's Motorcraft, which is Ford, I believe, right?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think exactly, but
I usually just run with the good old
Rotella in my pickup.
What's that?
Good old
Shell. Oh, Shell. Okay, yeah, the brand.
Yeah.
Of the oil.
It's the 1540 variety, so I think it's the T4. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is you have to run thicker oil in yours.
I mean, you can get Shell Rotella in 1030 diesel oil. Yeah. It's just got some more stuff for it.
And when the average vehicle runs,
how well it'd run it, a gas one with 1040.
1040 is okay.
Or 1030, not 1040.
Yeah, 1030.
Because the 6.0 for Fords run 1030 diesel.
Yeah, 1030 is okay. 15 is definitely
40.
Pushing it. In a gasoline motor, I wouldn't put 15 in there. I'd be afraid to.
For like race motors, you can, but you change the oil so often.
Oh, in a race car, I'd put.
A lot of people actually run 1540 diesel or 1030 diesel, depending, just because it's got all those little extra bits and bobs and vitamins, minerals, dinosaur juice. Where's this one supposed to go? I thought there was one over here. There was one over here when I was over here.
Oh, whoops. I needed to pull out a truck first before I teleported. Wow, that loading. It did not want to load there.
Yeah, we have a little car that calls for 020 synthetic.
Must have some small oil holes in it.
It was, doing a bit of burning of the oil, so we decided that it's just going to get what it gets.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it's just burning oil, 020 synthetic's kind of expensive, so what's on the shelf?
Yep.
1540 for a diesel? good enough.
Yeah, just
Straight 30 weight, good enough.
gotta be careful with some of that though.
It's burning oil like no other, and we don't
Well,
care.
it's
We
just if
want
the
it to
if
die.
oh, that's okay. If you want it to die, that's fine. But it's just
one
like
of those points. It's just like we're over it.
because there is a point where you can go with too thick of oil in a gasoline motor and actually end up blowing the motor to smithereens because the oil's so thick it can't lubricate the bearings.
I mean, don't think I didn't think 80-90 gear oil.
I mean, but if you want it to die, absolutely go for the thickest oil you can. It will die real quick.
That thought had occurred to me. It's just like, nah, we're at least gonna try and let it survive.
Give it a chance.
It will have an opportunity.
Mhm. I know what you can do to make it die a little quicker, though.
Antifreeze.
No, go to Walmart and buy like a small little thing of BBs and take out the plug, put a couple BBs in, put the plugs back in. Just
We're
do that
not
to
gonna
all the.
kill it and
No, it'll
intentionally.
survive for a long time doing that. It just eventually there will be a small hole that'll appear, or one of the pistons will do a little bit of cracking. It'll die slowly. Ugh. But yeah, of course, if you were to just straight up pour water into the intake while it's running, it's a good way to kill it.
Hydrolock it.
Yep.
I want
Hydrolock
it to
it
be
or
spectacular when it dies. I want to like throw a rod.
oh yeah, then
Make several windows.
all you got to do is drain the antifreeze and put a rock on the gas pedal. It'll go out. Let it get real hot.
My
Actually
mom's
did
good
that.
enough at that already. She does not, pay attention to the temperature gauge. Like, why is it smoking out from under the hood? How long has it been, in the red on the gauge? Oh, I didn't look.
Also one
That's
of those
why
ones.
the previous motor seized up.
Yeah, we have in a few race cars welded the damn motor together, basically. Okay, wait a minute. Where is this?
Over one of them. This one's over by me. It needs 4, 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, I got a bunch of walls. Got walls on my side too.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
Oh,
I'm in the crane.
there you go then.
Dude, I'll just grab them.
Yeah, and I'll unpack them for you.
Oh, one. I'm back.
Is there walls on both sides or just the one?
I think just your side over here.
Yeah, we actually done it to a. We also done a thing to the 350. Real spectacular. Just leave the exhaust manifolds on there. No coolant. Just run it off of gasoline. Just run a wide open throttle. Let it get real fucking hot. That shit, it gets so hot at a point that it'll start shooting flames out the exhaust. Because it's getting so much unburned fuel stuck just past all the exhaust valves. A bunch of fuel starts building up because it's running at such high RPM it can't burn it all fast enough. So it puts a bunch of unburned fuel, and eventually that shit gets so hot and it starts igniting the fuel and starts shooting flames out, and then they start glowing. They get so hot they start glowing a little bit. And that engine just
headers. You could just run it. Who needs exhaust?
just have
Just open heads. Not
We just-
headers, just open heads.
We just had the exhaust on it because that's it was on there. Too lazy to take it off.
The controls for this are different than the mobile crane, sort of.
Yeah, because the mobile crane you've got 360 degrees worth of movement. Not just in rotation, but you can go side to side, up and down, in and out.
Never ate there.
In and out burger?
Yeah, never have.
Neither have I.
This one. I think we're locked on each other.
No.
Yep.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
We just steal this. Meow.
There we go.
Like, huh? What? Where? This has got to be the office if we're putting like wooden walls and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got insulation. This one's a lot more precise, the mobile crane. Definitely. Things don't sway as much. Makes sense though. I've got a lot more cables. I've got 6 cables compared to that one only having 2.
Oh, they exploded.
Yeah, I seen it. Are they still exploded?
Yeah, they are very much exploding.
I want a screen. I want a screen grab of this. Oh,
A few of them reset.
yeah. Almost done with this building.
Speed run.
Yeah, we're flying. I see one of those is in the ground over there.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, that time it was technically me who broke the game. Because
I mean, I placed those there.
it's both our faults. Ugh. Think you can reset those.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh, come on. I said flip the cargo. Flip the cargo. Okay, not gonna
Move
flip
it
the
up.
cargo.
Move it away from the crane a little bit. Or I'll just lay it on the ground. That's cool too.
Cool, can't flip cargo.
Uh-oh.
Nope, not flipping cargo.
Managed to flip one.
Yeah, let me grab that one out of the way.
I think that thing flew. Oh,
Yep,
it's
it
back.
sent it over here.
It's back though. There we go. Cool. I flipped it and then I think I saw a short frame where it had blasted off into space. I'm just like, well.
Just wasn't gonna have it.
hmm
And then pour concrete on top.
Yeah, usually these are that type. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, how? Oh, never mind. I thought that slanted roof wanted concrete to be poured. I was like, what?
that would, that would
That
be.
doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that would just. I don't know. That'd be one of those situations, right? Where you have to ask yourself the question: do I intervene or do I just sit back and watch what happens?
Like it just starts running off. We can't do it. Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
It's like that. It is definitely one of those, though. It's like that picture of the guy who strapping down. I can't remember what they were strapping down. Maybe it was a 4-wheeler or something. And they wrapped the excess strap around the rim.
Oh, I saw that. Or something similar to it, at least.
And underneath it has the caption of, would you say anything, or would you just sit back and watch what happens? I'd be like, I would sit back and watch what happens. I would literally just sit there. I wouldn't say a damn thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I'd
think
be...
one I saw, people had like ratchet strapped to the rim. It's like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Because it would also partially be due to me being curious to see what would happen.
Oh,
I think we're done.
yeah. I think store all of those. Oh, only by authorized personnel. Cool.
Oh, because you left. Yeah, that's right.
I can store vehicles though.
This is good. Well, that's what that lag spike is you putting away vehicles.
Oh,
Right now, every time you're doing that, it literally lags for a second. It's amazing. Can you hop out of the crane real quick? Boop. Yay, we've done it. Alright, I'm gonna get
that's all the campaign's finished.
I'm gonna get a screenshot before I leave the lot here. Screenshot of an unfinished building. Before I speak to the guy. I have to go over this side. Okay. It's because the photo mode does not let you go very far. Alright, that's the best we're gonna get there. I even got a little bit of the mound.
Yep.
Alright. Screenshot. Speak with the guy. What you got for us?
Now that the harbor basin has actually been excavated, everyone is clamoring for their own yachts, which they would like to get yesterday. I've been able to recruit several competent people who can take care of the operation and logistics. It couldn't have gone any better, because now the city realizes that a harbor contributes an economic and tourist quality. without destroying all of the established structures. The harbor region has been on a significant upswing lately, and we really have you to thank for this. Now we can set sail full speed ahead towards a positive future.
Hey.
Looky
Ah.
there.
So it's a manufacturing place to actually build little boats.
Oh. I guess that kind of makes sense for a shipyard, yeah.
Yeah, because they said everybody's clamoring for their own yachts. And they wanted them yesterday. So I'm just like, so it's a manufacturer. They build them. You can see
That
the
makes
little...
a bit more sense now.
Yeah. Probably this one right here. They probably build this exact one. Yeah.
Alright. Awesome. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Alright. What time is it?
Is 8. Finished right on time.
Perfect. Speed run.
Speed run.
I like how there's two sets of
I can't go in.
there's two sets of bathrooms that have both men and women for
Yeah, it's
bathrooms.
not just this
men.
one
Yeah, that one being
and
men.
this one women. Nope.
No, they have two
Same
sets.
asset twice.
Yep.
You're gonna have it.
Well then.
Yep. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All sorted and figured out.
Yeah. I'll buy some vehicles sometime. I need to get on that.
What vehicles?
Buying vehicles so that I get that achievement for having the vehicles.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. There you go.
Eventually.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go, so
Yeah.
you have a good one. Take care.
Yep.
Later.
Later. Is he gone? Yes, he's gone. Good. No. That's just a joke. Haha. Anyway, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, because of technical issues, and then on top of him having to be gone early, unfortunately, rendered us a short episode of Construction Sim. But you guys got extra content for me scaring the map and then showing where all the hammer locations were. So, so that'll make up for it. 9. That'll make up for it. So, hopefully, that's okay. But yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for this episode. I know it's short, so apologies anyway. But I do hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.